In today's video, we're going to be taking a look at these outdoor smart string lights made by Lumary. Let's get to it. What's up guys, and welcome to Top Shelf Media. So like I mentioned, today we are taking a look at these outdoor string lights made by Lumary. And full disclosure, Lumary did send me these lights free of charge for this review, but they have no say in what I talk about in this video, and all the opinions are my own. So right off the bat, looking at the front of the box, we know that these are their RGB AI lights. And what does that mean? Well, it means that these lights use their smart AI chip. And what this allows you to do is to have multiple colors on one string of lights. Now this is my first RGB AI light from them, so I am super excited to check this out. This light does warm white and 16 million colors, meaning that it does RGB, but if you select white in the app, you will not be able to change your color temperature. Now, you could go into RGB and really take out the saturation on a blue and try and get it as close to white as possible, I'm sure. But we all know with lights like this, once you go to RGB, your brightness drops significantly. So, I don't know. And I'm okay with these being warm white. They're outdoor lights. They don't have to have the cool white as well. Now this is their 56-foot 15 bulb version, and they do have a 100-foot 30 bulb version if you want a string that's longer. Also, supposedly you can connect multiple of these together. I don't know how many, if it's just one more, if you could do, two more, three more, however many more. But I'll put links for both versions down in the description if you want to check these out. Also, if you purchase from the Lumary website and you use my code TopShelfMedia at checkout, you can get 10% off your purchase. There is a little bit more information on the box if you want to check it out, but we're going to go ahead and get this thing opened up. Now, there was a little bit of damage to the box in shipping, but hopefully everything's fine. All right, let's finally get this thing unboxed. I've had this for like a month now, and I have yet to be able to get it open. So starting off, we have what looks like a big bag of lights. Awesome. I'm so excited to get those turned on and tested. I'm so pumped for that. What else do we have in here? We have our, what looks like our power cord and controller. Okay. Next, we have a remote. That's cool. Didn't realize that this was included in there. That's awesome. Think about it though. They're outdoor lights. They're smart lights. I can use an app. I can use my voice. Probably won't be using this remote all that often, at least as far as I can tell right now. But it is nice that they include it. That's pretty cool. What else do we have here? We have what looks like an extra cover for the lights. So that's awesome. They get a replacement. As well as we have what looks like an LED board just kind of floating around in here. So hopefully this still works. I won't know, I guess, until I need to replace one, unless I decide to test it out or something. But yeah, it's just kind of floating around there. So hopefully it works. Lastly, we have our zip ties, which is awesome. I'm glad that they include these. That's very handy. And our paperwork. Also, we get all this for about $65 at the time of recording this video on Amazon and on the Lumary website. There's about $1 difference between the two. Now it's time to look at build quality, and let's start with the power cord and controller. I feel like it's very well built. Along with the rest of the lights, it's made with 22 gauge wire, and the controller has a waterproof rating of IP65. Now looking at how these connect to the lights, I really like the connection that they use. There's a nice little rubber gasket here to keep water from getting in, and you just slide this in here just like so. And it's a nice, tight fit. I'm very happy with that. And then you just take this and screw it down. That's real nice. I like that. I like that a lot. If we look at the bulbs, and I guess we can just look at this one because it's not attached. These are supposedly shatterproof, and they seem to be really nice quality and easy to replace. The sockets themselves look really good too. I love that they gave you this little loop here to hang it, as well as the reinforced connection where the cable comes into the socket. Looking inside the socket here, we can see that that's where that LED board is at, and if you pop that out, you can easily replace it. Overall, I really like the build quality of these lights. Also, an added bonus, apparently if one light goes out, none of the other lights are affected, but we can test that here in a minute. Speaking of testing, let's go ahead and get it plugged in and added to the app. I'm gonna do this right along here with you just so we can see how easy or hard it is to add to the app. So let's get it plugged in. And I'm going to grab my phone. Okay, that's a good sign. I am going to do the plus sign. Do add. I did peek earlier at what one it wants me to select, so that way I can make sure I'm adding the right one. Apparently it wants to add that light again, but that's all right. We'll let it do its thing. If it doesn't pop up and say discovering device, you are supposed to use this light source BLE plus Wi-Fi. That's the one we want to use. I'm just going to go ahead and hit add, and then it wants me to input my Wi-Fi stuff, which I already have in there. So we're going to let it do its thing. It's going to, like I said, it's trying to add that one too, apparently. I'm just going to go ahead and stop that. Okay, done. All right. Please set the number of bulbs according to the actual number of bulbs on the lamp string. Okay, so we have 15. All right, so we have 15 bulbs. So this seems to be working. Let's go ahead and just change the color. Apparently you can change the color temperature. That's cool. According to the box, you cannot. It said warm white plus RGB, which made me think there was no option to change your color temperature. Apparently you can. You know what? This looks really cool, but it's hard to just kind of see in a jumble on my desk here. Let's go ahead and get this put up somewhere here in the office so that way we can kind of see it and just kind of run through it a little bit. All right, I think these look pretty good. Now this isn't going to be their permanent spot. I actually have another idea for these lights, but I just wanted to get them up here so you guys could actually see what it looks like. If we go through the scenes and stuff, I want you guys to actually be able to see what they look like rather than just being balled up on my desk. So let's go ahead and just look at what this app can do. So right now we have it set to change all the bulbs colors at the same time. So if I come over here to color and go green, you can see they changed to green. I can go blue. I can go red. I can go purple. I mean, like I said, 16 million colors. We can do a lot. But I think this looks really good. I think the colors look good. Now they're not super bright, but they don't have to be. This is like more of a, to me, I see it more as like an ambient light outside. I'm not looking for it to put off a bunch of light. I just want it to look good, right? So I think it does. I think it does its job. I think it looks really good. Now, one really cool thing that you can also do is that you can click on this little squiggly line right here, and you can change individual colors. Now, since I have purple up right now, let's go ahead and we'll do green since it's the other color that I use on this channel. And we'll do, okay, I want that light green, and that light green, and that light green. And you can see those start to change colors, which is really cool. So it corresponds with the bulb that I'm tapping on in the app. Now I don't even have to do just two colors. I could choose another color. So let's say I want to go red. I want that light to be red. I want this light to be red. I want this one red, and this one red. So now I have all those lights there that are red as well. So I think it looks really cool. I love how this is functioning in the app. Now I don't know how you can set up an automation to do this, right? So you have to come into the app and set this up. You might be able to then save it or export it as a scene and then recall it as a routine or something that way. But as of right now, I don't know how you would do that without having to come in here every time and select what colors you want. They do, however, have scenes. So if we click over here, we can see the scenes that they have. All right, so first up here we have flow, and I think it looks really cool. It's just, one color to another going through the whole string of lights. I think it's pretty basic, but I think it looks really good. If we choose next, we can go to rainbow, and now rainbow effect is just gonna then change from one color to another, each individual bulb being a different color. So that's really cool. I really like that. Next up, we have chase. Okay, one thing I have noticed, side note, is every once in a while, the app just doesn't want to do what it's supposed to do. It takes a second. So like I hit chase probably 3 or 4 times before it actually took and actually decided to switch to chase. So I don't know if it just gets hung up every once in a while and just doesn't change it. But there is a little bit of a hiccup there with the app, it seems like. But this is chase, and I think it looks really good. Again, it's just a lot like flow, just without the lights going off in between each color. Next up, we have dazzle, which I'm assuming is a lot like rainbow. And we're going to wait for it to change because it doesn't want to change again. There it goes. So this is what dazzle is, and I really like this. I think dazzle and rainbow are probably two of my favorite scenes that they have here. Next up, we have gradient, and gradient is just going to change each bulb to, at the same time, to the next color, just a slow dissolve to the next color. And I think it looks really, really good. Next up, we have jump, and then from jump, it's just going to jump from one color to the next. Breathing, which is the same thing as jump, except it's dissolves to the next color. And then we have blink. One nice thing is, like, okay, let's say we went to jump here, and it's using blue, yellow, and pink. Let's say I wanted to add a color like purple. I could come in here, select purple, and now it has added purple. Once I hit preview, it adds purple, and once it goes to yellow, next, yep, there we go, purple. I can also change the speed in here as well. So right now it's at the 50%. I can bring it up to 100, hit preview, and it's gonna go fast. Same thing, I can bring it down to 1% if I wanted to, and hit preview as well. And there it goes, nice and slow and smooth. I'm not gonna save that there. I'm gonna come through and, you know, edit these and customize them to my liking a little bit later. But yeah, I think that looks really, really good. Same thing with like rainbow. If I wanted to come in here and edit rainbow, I could select different colors, which it only says it's those three. I mean, there's definitely other colors in there, so I don't know how that corresponds with the app, because it just says red, yellow, blue. I mean, there's pink in there, there's purple in there, so I don't know if it's just saying it's dissolving between those three colors, and that's why we're getting the other colors and stuff, but there's definitely more than those three colors on the light, so I honestly don't know what's going on there. So moving on from the scenes, we have our music options, and we obviously have our rhythm, which is going to change to music, or even, as of right now, the sound of my voice, but it looks like it's a little delayed. Bop, hop, bop. Yeah, it's definitely delayed by about half a second to a second. So lastly here we have our timer. So I can set timers of when I want it to turn on, turn off. Probably won't be using this all that much because I do all my routines through Google. So that's how I'm probably going to shut the lights on and off when I have them up permanently where I want them. But if you're not using Google or an Amazon Assistant, you can definitely set up all your timers in here. So it's nice that they have this in here. Okay, just some last minute info here. It seems like whatever state it was in when you turned it off or killed the power, it will turn back on in that state. So I had it set to dazzle before I unplugged it, and it came back on that scene. So that's good to know. Also, I wrote down a few measurements here that you might want to know. From the plug to the first light, you're looking at about 7 foot 6 inches. The power cable itself is 5 foot 5 inches. And then in between each light, you're looking at about 3 feet. Also, I do want to point out the button on the controller switches in between different scenes. It also will switch between your two white colors, your cool white and your warm white, as well as a red, green, blue, and then it goes through all the scenes. Okay, so in testing, I actually pulled one of the LED boards out just so you know, don't get confused. If the board is not in there, the rest of the lights down the line will not work. If the board is in there, then all the other lights will still work because it's still completing that circuit. I'm assuming is how that works, but I did test it out, pulled out one of the LED boards, and all the lights after that were not working anymore. So just so you're aware, when we were adding this to the app and it was asking us how many bulbs we're planning on using, there was a note on there that said you could use a minimum of 5 and a maximum of 48. That does mean that in theory, I could get the 100-foot 30 bulb version connected to this one as well and have still just a maximum of 45 bulbs, and it would work perfectly fine. Now, obviously, I have not tested this. You could also go ahead and just get 2 more of these because that would just give you 45 bulbs as well. So I don't know why they chose 48, but they did. So 48 is the maximum amount of bulbs as of right now that we could use. All right, guys, I'm loving these lights. I cannot wait to get these up outside and actually start using them. These are fantastic. Like I said, there was a little bit of a hiccup with the app. It was kind of bogged down, I think, a little bit and just wasn't reacting as fast as I wanted it to. Hopefully that gets fixed here in the future. But as far as these lights go, these lights are really cool. I like these lights. I am, like I said, can't wait to use them actually in real life outside over our fire pit. That'll be so nice. I cannot wait. I hope you guys liked this video. If you did, give it a thumbs up. Also, I've put some things on screen for you guys to go and check out if you feel so inclined. I hope you guys enjoyed this one, and I'll see you in the next video.